Hi there, I'm happy to talk to you today about motor action and sensory organization and how it applies to our kids that we support with S2C. First of all, I'm just going to talk to you about a neuron. Neurons are brain cells, and messages are passed between neurons in order to communicate between the central nervous system and the peripheral nervous system. It's a complex feedback loop, and the messages travel between the synaptic cleft. It's what it's called chemically, and I will talk a little bit more about that later after I talk about some motor actions that I want to talk about. They can fall under the purposeful or protective. The first one I want to talk about is reflexive, and a reflexive motor action is unplanned, not thought about. It originates in the subcortical region, usually in the spinal cord. And for example, it's a short and very fast pathway. For example, if a piece of dirt is coming towards my eye will reflexively shut to protect the eye. So it's protective in nature. Then there's the impulsive motor action pathway, and it's short and fast as well, and originates in the subcortical region, usually called the reptilian brain. And it can work for us or for against us, especially with the kids that we work with. For example, my son, he wanted a drink. So he saw a juice box, so he impulsively will go grab a drink, and now it can be anybody's drink or anybody's on the floor. So that he doesn't think about it. It's not that he means to do it, but he impulsively does it. Then there's the purposeful motor actions. These are planned, and these originate in the cortical region of the brain, the higher level thinking, and it requires a plan and a constant feedback loop to refine the plan to create what response is necessary. And then this can become automatic. So when something is practiced over and over again, a fatty sheath is laid down and the message can travel faster. So for example, when I'm learning how to type, it starts off as purposeful. I have to practice and create that pathway for it to become automatic, that I can look away and do something else and still be accurate in my typing. And this can work for or against us with the kids that we support as well. Motor loops or verbal loops can happen very easily with the kids because of the automatic motor action. So praxis is a complex process, like I said, and there are movement differences with the kids that we support. And the self-advocates describe it as a brain-body disconnect. And the research shows that in the synaptic cleft that I talked about, there seems to be noise, so that either the message doesn't get sent at all, or it gets misinterpreted. And that can create issues with and getting their body to cooperate with what they want to do. So the prevalence of that is 2/3 are the kids with autism that we support receive that, and 15% of those with Down syndrome. But there's also sensory differences. The prevalence of that is 1 in 6 children have some sort of sensory difference, and that they sense their world differently through their senses. For example, the researchers say that it's intense world theory, it's called, and the self-advocates will describe it as that they either perceive their world more intensely or more beautifully. And there's a complex feedback loop between the sensory and motor. Remember, the sensory and the motor strips are very close in the brain. And if there's a breakdown in any of that, it creates a sensory motor difference for our kids, and that things are perceived differently, and then the movement or what they want doesn't go out as what they want it to be. So how do we support that as a Spell to Communicate practitioner? We do that first and foremost by our partnership that we have with them, our relationship we have with them, in order for them to feel safe, because most of the time they feel anxious. How also do we support them? We support them through sensory organization. We do that with the Spell to Communicate, and we help their bodies get back online through sensory things like music, using their senses, music, deep pressure. I know my son likes to be wrapped like a burrito, he calls it, and through self-regulation. Now my son is at the point when he knows he needs to be regulated. He'll bring us the blanket so we can wrap him up tight like a burrito. The other way we help is with motor organization. We help them practice with motor control, and we create new pathways called neuroplasticity. And that can happen throughout life, thank goodness, that our brain can continue to create these pathways. So we help break down the motor steps, we help with motor practice, we help with modeling, and we help do this through our activities of daily living, fun, and through communication with the letterboards, all for the ultimate goal of autonomy. Thank you.